Hey everyone, Jill from Two Dogs Media, welcoming you to WordPress 5.3. WordPress 5.3 is a major release that is scheduled to be launched at the middle of November, so we just wanted to give you a heads up on what to expect. We're actually liking this update. There's a couple of things about it we kind of don't like, but there's nothing major that we don't like. And they added some new features that we actually really like. So we just wanted to cover the 2 or 3 things that we thought it would be helpful to show you in a video so you can see how to use it and understand what it does. Sometimes putting it into a post can be a little confusing and the images don't really showcase what it can do. So definitely read the post to find out about more of what's upcoming. You will need to update your PHP 7, PHP 2.7 if you're not already there. That's a big thing, which actually everybody should really be at PHP 7 anyway for security and speed reasons. So I would address that, and there's a few other things in the post that may help you for planning purposes. But for now, let's just have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about some of the things that were added to the editor area just to make they made a few small improvements that we're thinking are pretty cool. I hope you like them too. So let's touch base first on the image. Okay, by adding a new image, okay, media library, select. Okay, we got your options here now where you can actually link to an image. When you click down, you'll see a CSS class. If you want to add styling to it, open a new tab if you are linking out. And then link rel, which is a new functionality that a lot of people were asking for. So you can do no follow, sponsored, whatever the options are for that. The only thing we would have liked to have seen here is if they just did it as check marks, so you could just easily check it instead of having to write it out. But little thing, so hopefully they'll change that in the future. And then you have options for editing it or changing it out. And then you have align left, align center. You could do a wide width or a full width. A full width image will bring it from edge to edge of your screen. Wide width usually keeps it within whatever your container size is. If you want to use full width, you do have to make sure that your theme is set up for that. It's got to be kind of block ready to use the full width. So if you're doing things and you're not seeing the full width effect, then it's because your theme doesn't accept it at that time. To show you what I mean, we'll go ahead and edit our image real quick so you can kind of see. We're going to set it as full width. Okay. And the reason why it's showing up as a circle is this is one of the new features. It's called styles. Okay, and you could do the default, which is your standard image size, or you could use a circle mask. And because I'm such a nerd for circles, I actually set it to default to circle mask. So every time I upload an image, it's automatically going to upload as a circle. You can set it to default so it always uploads as whatever size you actually uploaded it as. So whatever works for you. So I'll leave it as default for now. But we're going to change this image to default. I am going to set this as a full width image. Okay. And then let's see what happens here. And then you can see it's a full width image. Okay. Now if I go back and I change it to wide width, it's only going to show it in the size of whatever my container is, 1200 or 1600 pixels. Okay. And if I do it as a circle mask, then it's going to show it as a pretty circle. Okay, so that's some of the new stuff for the image. The next, I'm going to talk about columns because one thing that by default the block editor was really not good at was columns. So it was kind of limited in what it could do. They really kicked it up a notch. So now you have options for the kind of columns that you want. You could skip it and create your own, but you can use one of these to just get started. You can create your own even from one of these. So let's say we want to do a 2-column, 2/3, 1/3. Let's add an image. And over here, we'll add some text. Okay. Now if I do a preview, nothing fancy, just 2 columns. Okay. And there's a couple different options you can do here. Okay. So if I click on the outskirts, you can do the full width. Okay. If I do preview, now it's going to show it as a full width. Okay, it's taking up the whole span of the column here. And say I want my image to be bigger. I click on the column. You have to make sure you're clicking on the right area. That's the only part that still gets me. This is one of the things I never really liked about the builders, because you always have to click on certain areas. So right now we technically have like 3 different areas. You have the main column background, you have each column, and then you have the content that's in the column. So I can click on the image, the column, or the background. And I always miss the background, or the full column width area. So it gets a little tricky when you start adding all these layers where to click. If you need help with that, I've actually started using this. So if I go to columns, okay, it'll give me back my core column options. Okay, but for now we're just going to look at this column. And you can see the percentage width is set to 33.33. So say I want my image to be bigger, I just change this. So now this is 70% and this is 30. And if I click preview, okay, 70-30. Okay, and it's fitting within my content area now. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to my column options, make sure I have full width set. Okay, I did have full width set. Okay, now the reason you might be asking, okay, why is my image not going over if I have it set to full width? Well, for this example, it's because I have to set this to full size, and I also need to set this column to full width. Okay, so now if I hit preview, okay, you can see it has full width. Okay, so even within the columns, you can set column sizes. Okay, now the only thing is you got this like overlay here, which is a little annoying. So there's still like buggy things like that. I don't know of any way to really fix it, so we'll just bring this down a notch. Okay, and let's try let's do align right. That might actually help with the issue. And then let's click preview. So if you play around a little bit, you'll get some really cool things. So this is like a really great way to create those pages where it has, you know, image on one side, text on the other, and then it reverses for the next row and next row. And you still have a lot of options in here. You can add other, you know, so many other things in here. For this block, we can center align the text. Okay, and what that'll do is just pull it away from the edge. So that is one of the things that this columns is still lacking. It doesn't give you like any kind of padding or styling options. So you can either use an HTML block to really customize how you want it, or you can stick with like using cadence blocks or something like that. But this is a really good option if you have a little bit of HTML and don't want to overload your site with another plugin. And the last thing I just want to show you guys. So right now, what's annoying me about this is that this text is up here and then the image is down here. I have all this white space. So one of the other things that's really kind of cool is you can do vertically align middle, preview, and now it's center aligned. So it just looks more balanced. So that's the columns. I think it's kind of cool. I was happy to see the changes they made and looking forward to seeing more. The last thing I want to talk about is the one I'm most excited about is called groups. So now what they've done, and this was always something that frustrated me, that everything was always in a new block. And there's been many times I've wanted to group things together to give it a similar background or something, and it wasn't able to do that. Now you can. And this is opening a world of options for you guys to be more creative in your marketing as well. So with the groups, you can add multiple blocks within a group. So say, for example, I really want to have a group. You can use it just for content. You can use it for call to actions. You can use it as author boxes. This is an endless opportunity of excitement here, and you can see I'm really excited about this. So what I'm going to do here, so for my group, I'm actually going to create columns in my group. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this in a creative way. Okay, so let's do my wolf picture. Okay, I'm going to make that a circle mask. And the size is fine. And I'm going to make this a mailing list. Now I want to add in my group. So here could be your custom HTML mailing list widget. So if you use MailChimp or whatever one of the ConvertKit, you can put your HTML code here, or if there's a block, a lot of them now have blocks, so you can just add the block so the form shows up here. Okay, and then one other thing you can do is add, I want to add one more thing. Okay, so now I have this really cool little block of content. Trouble walking your dog? Subscribe to my dog walking tips and tricks to get a free PDF and be a part of our mailing list. They sign up here, you got this cool little image. What is super cool about this, so think about how you can use this. I have a blog, I'm a dog trainer, and I have a blog and I have 4 different articles about walking dogs. One is about walking aggressive dogs, one is about walking puppies, one is about walking senior dogs, tips for walking lazy dogs, whatever it is that they're giving you tips about. You have, say, 4 or 5 posts that are focused on dog walking to some extent. Well, now you have this really cool group of blocks that are a call to action that you can use on only those 5 posts. This group block is a fantastic way to really focus your call to action messages on posts based on what the reader is interested in. So once we create this block, then we can save it as a reusable block. So you would put this in here, add to reusable blocks, dog walking call to action, and then we would save it. Okay. And now if I delete this, and now say I did my post about dog walking and I'm like, I want to add my call to action on this. Okay, just do dog walking and it'll sign up. I actually did another one earlier. So like earlier I did this one, I made this one. You can put backgrounds in it. You can really be a little bit creative with these. So, I mean, this is just a fantastic way for you guys to really add call to actions. These are great for author bios, so they can just plug in their author bio when they're done. So, if you have 20 different people and then they can customize their own, they can update them themselves. And that's how I'm recommending you guys use this. So the block, this group block is to me one of the best functions that they've added because it just allows you to really build out stuff in a really cool way. If you have HTML or CSS experience, you can even do more because with each group or with each item, you can do advanced CSS and advanced features. So let me just do like a 3-column call to act, or let me do a 3-column call to action. Let's do an image. I just want to show you how you can kind of customize it just a little tiny bit. I don't want this to take too long, but I want you to have enough knowledge so that you get excited about it because it's really cool. And let's just put some text in here. Okay, I'm going to center align this. Okay, and now if I go to the group, go up to the group, okay, and you can do a background color. So if I want my whole group to be black, dark blue, or gray, we can change all that. Okay. And if you have widgets where you can add colors to those, you might have widgets or whatever else you add, other groups, you can add colors within these colors. You can make this just like with anything else. You can make your block a full width. So if I want to do a full width block and have it be the full page, okay, so you can see it went all the way across. So there's just so many different ways to use this. So I would really think outside the box on this one. Like I said, I think the groups are just an amazing way. Keep in mind the reusable blocks. The reason why they're reusable, it's going to be the same block. So if I have my dog walking PDF on 5 different posts and I realize I just changed my mailing list company and I need to update the code, you don't have to go to each of those 5 pages to update that code. You go to your block, your reusable block, you update the code, and then it updates across every post that that block is in. That's the beauty of reusable blocks. So you can have different call to actions for different categories. So if you're a blogger who works in the baking field and you have a PDF for bread specific recipes, you can add a call to action just for that bread PDF on every single post. And it's once the block is made, it's just as simple as you just looking it up. So this is everything that's new that I think is really worth talking about. There's some other things as well, so definitely go over to the post, take a look. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thanks and have a fantastic day.